I had so many sommeliers mentioning wines from Croatia, from Serbia, from Hungary as some of the most exciting wines they tasted all year. And that's the first time I ever remember this happening. This is an array of wines that I picked mainly by sommeliers and asked them what are the Eastern European wines that excite them the most. It's a poship from Croatia, and it's one of the first wines from Eastern Europe I tasted that I said, wow, this is absolutely amazing.
There are wines that come from very unusual grape varieties and show purity of place and offer a very curious alternative to, or let's just say an antidote to a lot of the more commercial anodyne wines that are available.
People are just starting to get to know them, but yet they've been enjoyed by people for thousands of years, and so it's just a very exciting beginning. The wines of the Republic of Georgia, Pheasant's Tears Winery, making wines in the old way, in big amphora underground, fermentation, old grape varietals, hundreds of grape varietals indigenous to Georgia that we've never heard of.
Blue Danube was bringing in some really fascinating smaller production wines from Croatia, Slovenia, Hungary, and these were wines of such distinction, such a unique personality, so much soul, such history that you couldn't help but really pay attention.
There was a great deal of French foreign investment when the wall came down and people chose to invest in these areas. They knew there were great terroirs, there were great grape types, and great history to the area, so that as an economic prospect or a business prospect, there was a great deal of opportunity to move into these areas and promote these wines.
The success with the wines from Croatia, a grape variety called Plavac Mali, that's a really easy bridge for a lot of folks who aren't that used to drinking wines with the quirkiness that is often found in Eastern European bottles.
Are wines with a sense of place. They are wines that tells a story of a remote region, and wines that make you travel, let's say imaginary travel, while drinking them and tasting them.
And I think that they're really place over process. And that's sometimes not something you always find when you're in the wine world. A lot of times people are like, go to skin contact wines, go to carbonic wines, go to sherry, etc. But a lot of times things like ferment, like producers like Bott and Movia, were ones that I got to change my perception of what wine could and should be.
Eastern European wine that we introduced to our customers at the Domain Wine Bar was actually a Macedonian wine made by Tikvesh. The grape is called Arcasiteli, which is a native grape from Georgia, the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. An interesting grape, a very versatile grape that produces great wines in Macedonia, and also more interesting in upstate New York.
Sommelier job I had in Southern California was at a Southeast Asian restaurant, and the flavors of Thai cuisine, of Malaysian food, of Southern Indian fare really work well with those different textures and intensity of Eastern European wines, and it sort of opened my eyes to all the possibilities of pairing for that.
Kabay is one of the producers whose wines I've enjoyed quite a bit. I've got something in my glass right now called Yurfak, which is from Hungary also, and again affords a very unique piece of flavor and smell, aromatic in the world of wine.
In restaurants, wines like the Tinon Dry Savarone, which is like unlike anything I've ever tried before. Dry Tokai under floor, and it's like everything I love about sherry, but made, I guess, in a more artisan way in many instances.
Meaning, I will not approach the guest saying, let me introduce you to Greek wine or a wine from Slovenia. I will go with, okay, I have a surprise for you, would you like to taste? And if you like the wine, I will tell you anything I know about it. And it just helped me to bring a little bit the curiosity of the guest, and then let them enjoy something new, saying, okay, most of the time would be, oh, it's different, but I do like it.
There's a discussion about Blaufränkisch from Austria, and there's a little bit of if you could ever say this, comfortable nature with Blaufränkisch, that people are at least know what Blaufränkisch is, so then you can start having the conversation about Kek Frankos and telling people that it's, you know, in the same world.
I think in New York City in particular, sommeliers are always looking for the next new thing.
As you are curious, you can be exposed to any part of the world. And the introduction in the Eastern Vineyard was something thrilling for me.